Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Matthew Fakhoury. Matthew, good to see you. We were talking a little bit about the unusualness of this whole hearing itself, but let's just get people up to speed about what a preliminary hearing is and what we can expect. This is scheduled to take all week long. It may not take all that week, but what exactly are prosecutors going to be doing?
Sure. Well, let's talk about what a preliminary hearing is not. It's not a trial. It's not about proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not even about guilt or innocence. A preliminary hearing is a very simple or mini trial that determines whether or not there's enough probable cause or evidence to move the case forward to a trial posture eventually. So typically a preliminary hearing isn't this long. It would almost never take a week. It's usually a day, if that, even on very serious cases, because the amount of evidence you need to move past this is actually relatively low in this screening stage.
What's also interesting is Tyler Robinson's case is pretty widely well known. I mean, just given the high profile nature of who the victim was, Erika Kirk, of course. So to me, and I think to a lot of people, we know a lot of the evidence, and maybe that's just because it's been played out in newsrooms across America. We've seen the videos, we've read the court documents in many cases. So are we going to learn anything new from this preliminary hearing, or is this just a matter of, like, you know, crossing our T's, dotting our I's when it comes to the justice system?
I think we're going to find out some new information. I think there's information regarding DNA, which, frankly, down the road, a jury usually finds that very convincing. The DNA evidence, in my opinion, is going to be the most important thing because it's going to link everything else. There's going to be video footage of him at the university, of Tyler Robinson at the university. There's DNA evidence, apparently, on the towel that he wrapped the rifle in, on the rifle trigger itself, on shell casings. There's going to be a lot of extra information we're going to hear from, and witnesses. We're going to finally hear from detectives. We might hear a video statement from Lance Twiggs, who's the roommate slash love interest of Tyler Robinson. A lot of these things we have not actually heard yet. We've heard about it, but we haven't heard the actual evidence yet.
Yeah, and so you bring up a good point, because in preliminary hearings, it's not just presenting evidence, it's also conducting witness interviews, right? So people will be called to the stand, like potentially Robinson's roommate, right? He may be called up and asked questions, and that also plays into this procedure. Typically,
yes, but there was a pretrial motion here which said that he doesn't have to come into court and testify at this stage. But the judge is going to allow the prior videotape statement. There was a videotape statement, I believe it was on April the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, where he gave a statement. And he said what happened with the text messages, with this alleged admission or confession. And the judge is allowing the state's attorneys to bring it into court, to bring the video into court. But the defense can't really cross-examine him in that situation, obviously, because it's a pre-recorded statement.
All right, we got 1 minute left. I want to get in two subjects. The first one, very quickly, transparency and how that plays into this. What are your thoughts?
So there's two ways of charging somebody formally. There's a preliminary hearing or a grand jury indictment. Here they're doing the very transparent and more difficult way, which is a preliminary hearing. To do a preliminary hearing, all the evidence is laid out on the table. A judge is going to decide whether or not there's probable cause. This is extremely transparent. The judge also, up to this point, has allowed cameras in the courtroom. He's allowing the public to sit in today, although it's limited access. So I think they're really going out of their way to show that this is a transparent hearing.
Because also there's so much speculation and conspiracy about it, which also fuels, I guess, fields my next question. Erika Kirk is going to be inside the courtroom. She's somebody that wants maximum transparency. She doesn't want to see her late husband's name, you know, thrown in the mud, or conspiracies to be, you know, spread around the internet and word of mouth. I guess my point is, Erika Kirk's going to be in that courtroom. How does that play into everything or change the dynamic of sitting inside that courtroom?
It's going to be tense because she's going to be there. You know, the family is going to be there. However, she doesn't testify. Charlie Kirk's parents don't testify. It's going to add a level of pressure, I think, to the prosecutors. And of course, it's uncomfortable for Tyler Robinson and his defense team. But from a substantive evidentiary standpoint, it's not going to add very much, other than there's just witnesses there to watch.
It's not a trial, but it feels kind of like a trial.
It sure does. With the amount of pressure, the amount of media attention, the political you know, aspects of this case, it sure does feel like there's a lot of pressure, almost like a trial.
And all eyes are going to be on it. We have team coverage all week long. Matthew Fakhoury, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be speaking to you later on this hour, in the next few hours of Morning in America. But anyway, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
All right. President